After the breakout success of the world's greatest superheroes in 1973, Mego sought to expand on their cost-effective action figure formula with new licenses and properties from history that would both appeal to young boys and help the superheroes line. The early 1970s saw a renewed interest in classic horror properties, and Mego attempted to secure the Universal Monsters license. According to Mego VP of Research and Development Neil Kublin, Universal wanted more than Mego was willing to pay, and it went to rival Azrak Hamway International, or AHI for short. AHI busied themselves developing a monster action figure line that closely followed Mego's example, not only with packaging, but with branding. With the world-famous super monsters hitting the shelves, Mego chose to create a line of their own monsters using their public domain literary characters as an example. Mad Monsters consisted of the dreadful Dracula, the horrible Mummy, the monster Frankenstein, and the human Wolfman. All four characters were intended to be designed as new interpretations. Mego didn't have to pay licensing costs.
And there we are. We could go on with that, but that's why we have the live. Welcome, everybody. This is Mego Shop Talk Live. This week we're featuring the Mad Monsters and beyond. And this would be the beyond part. We got Andrew Covalt, we got Seth Buckley, we got Roberta, we got the Don Kevy, and of course we got Jason Saville. How's everybody doing?
Doing great.
Very good.
Awesome. We also have we are live. We are streaming live from Facebook. We are streaming live from YouTube. And let me click this. Okay, we're back on. So, as you see it in the intro, Mego 74 came out with their first four monsters, and that was it. That's all we saw. So who knew? Now today we're looking at probably their hottest property, next to Star Trek, next to the world's greatest superheroes. What do you all think about that?
It's definitely top four. When people list properties, Monsters is one of the tops. So,
why do you think that is? Go around the room. Why do you think that is?
Me. Somebody else start.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Exactly.
I mean, I think that like just the villains, creatures, it just calls out to people. I mean, for me personally, I collect all Megos, but I've always just been drawn to the monsters, you know, in movies and in collecting toys as well.
Now, you actually, Seth, you have your own monster story, don't you? You have something. You have. I guess your 15 minutes as far.
Yes,
as,
I was a featured guest once on the AMC TV show Comic Book Men, season 5, episode 3. I sold the Kresge Wolfman on the show, and it was a great experience. I don't regret it at all. I had it for more than 20 years, and it's pretty rare these days, but I didn't mind parting with it just to be a part of the whole experience. Plus, I have 3 loose ones as well.
Well, there you go. It was an awesome carded figure. Roberta, what do you think about this horror genre and how it's just blowing up and how it has been for forever?
Well, I always like everything because I love the fact that there's so many different interpretations of the monsters. I mean, depending on on the movies, the director, you have your different versions on there, and everyone loves to be scared, when it comes to movies. So that's naturally the monsters on there.
Kevin?
It's just a huge following. It's a massive cult-like thing. It's got a huge fan base. So and the characters are great. So I mean, it's what's there not to like? You know, it's not a big thing for me, but I collect them.
You know, Jason?
Well, first of all, the sculpts on these things are so incredible, whether it's horror or not. Who wouldn't want to own them? And then as a Star Trek fan, they serve as the greatest aliens in the world when you're playing. But horror is one of the biggest things in the world the last few years. I mean, everyone looks forward to Halloween. Everyone goes to spirits. I mean, it's a part of the American culture at this point. You know, let's scare each other. Monsters.
Yeah, so that's very true. I didn't even, you know, that is a good point, because just because of the quality and I guess the awesomeness of how they look, you know, Andy can attest to that. He's sculpted many of the
best monsters have been sculpted.
Well, exactly.
A few. I did a handful.
You did a handful. I'm sure you still have a handful more to go too.
Best handful.
Thank you.
So, I got a question. What do you guys think right now, as we stand right now? Who's your favorite monster from the newest offerings of since Target and beyond?
I mean, mine personally is this one right here. The Christopher Lee Dracula is just one of the greatest action figures in my collection. I just love every single thing about it, from his clothes, his face, the expression, everything was just captured perfectly. I'm not sure who sculpted this, but it by far, for me, stands out as a really great figure.
I believe Sean Sansom sculpted a lot of those Universal monsters in. I think he's doing most of the Hammer monsters. So he sculpted that one for sure. I don't think there's been much merchandise for Christopher Lee or any of the Hammer stuff. Is that right? It's just something that's new.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that the license, I'm not going to get into the actual, you know, what's going on with the license in general, but definitely for this format, this is the first that I've seen.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of Christopher Lee figures. I've seen bootleg figures. I've always liked Frankenstein. The Karloff Frankenstein, since I started as a little kid with liking dinosaurs, and then I went to famous monsters pretty quickly. And I was staying up when I was less than 10, staying up super late to watch Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, you know.
Yeah.
And
me too.
So Frankenstein's always been a favorite of mine since, I don't know, before grade school probably. And that one still stands the test of time. I'm sorry. That one stands the test of time. That one's still, look at the Jason's Frankensteins there. They're amazing. So,
yeah.
Definitely they are.
Yeah, they did. Mego nailed it. Absolutely nailed it with that. And
also, Sean, I believe, sculpted those.
There you go. We need to get in touch with Sean and see how he does it. Roberta, what about you?
I'll tell you what, it is hard to choose on the monsters and everything, but I did grab a couple of them and everything. I do have to say, love my son, the son of Frankenstein. He's great. And probably this guy. I am loving this guy. I mean, the 14-inch creature is great on there, but it is hard to choose.
Got too many carded figures.
I like those. I do not take them out. I'm sorry.
That's funny. Yeah,
I always use the excuse I'm contractually obligated to remove them from the package because I have a picture, and I'm sticking to that excuse.
There you go.
That's actually true. And let's all take note that Jason is wearing his disheveled mad scientist look today, which just kind of cracked me up, you know.
He is a mad scientist with toy photography, if you ask me.
Yes, I've seen this guy before at my local hospital. I know I have.
Only in the morgue. Only in the morgue.
Fair enough.
What's the patch on your shoulder?
Actually, for my Star Trek friends out there, this is technically a Star Trek cosplay because here's my Cold Station
Nice.
22 patch where I'm genetically engineering human beings.
Oh,
There we go.
I got a lab coat, but I don't think I could fit in it.
yeah, that's
It's for a
Pretty
finger
tough.
puppet.
All right. So let's start telling some stories. Andrew,
yes.
give me your best horror story that you got as far as you. And I know, like you said, Sean's got a lot of these, but the ones that you've done, just give me your best. You know.
Oh, well, some of the ones I've done are Leatherface, on display. Freddy Krueger,
Yep.
the Phantom of the Opera.
Love that.
Which
Never mind
was
that
fantastic.
I repainted mine, but whatever. The other Phantom of the Opera, which I also repainted. And I don't know if Teen Wolf counts, but on some level he's a monster.
Teen Wolf counts.
So Teen Wolf, Jeepers Creepers, and that might be it. I've done a few more that haven't come out yet, and some that may never come out. So we'll see what happens.
Could you tell us which ones haven't come out?
No, I cannot. Yeah, why not? Let's just wreck my job.
Come on, it's
There
just
you go.
between the 6 of us.
Oh,
Right,
sure.
That's right.
Oh, okay, it's a secret.
That's right. Speaking of just the 6 of us, I'd like to remind everybody that this is we're gonna do this for the most part. It's gonna be a weekly involvement, and when we do this, it would be helpful if you guys would hit that like and subscribe button and ring that bell. You'll never miss out on any Mego announcements and stuff like that. Now, what does that do? Why should you do that? Well, for one, so that way you help patronize this. But for number 2, we are taking all the names of all the subscribers, and that's going to go into the Forever Hat. And that what that means is, like, anytime there's a contest, anytime there's a giveaway, that's where we're going to pull from, and that will stay there forever. So we haven't. Now, I did say last week that one of the things that we were doing was to take a picture of, the fact that that you've liked and subscribed. I think we're still trying to work the bugs out on this to figure out what's the best way to store this information. I know, obviously, creating a database, but how do we get it to the database? We're kind of feverishly working on that. But also, if you have a favorite figure, if you have a wish or whatever, if you want to make a video under, let's say, 30 seconds or less, or under a minute, you want to send that to us and post it, that also gets you into the contests and drawings and what have you. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And
Where are they sending it?
Sir?
Where are they sending it?
Where are they sending
A minute-long video.
Oh, that's a good question, and I'm glad you asked that. That's one of those things that we're trying to work out. So for now, you can send it to just send a notification in YouTube. I believe you can do that. You can put it in the comments of this video here, and we will respond to it, and we will hook up and link that information. If you know it's on Facebook, go to Facebook, go to Mego Ambassadors. Message one of the moderators or admins. You can go to my page, message one of Jason, you're just having too much fun. And I'm not sure that they really liked each other like that.
They didn't like each other at all. She hated him.
I know.
That was the point of the movie.
Ironically, who would have thought that would be like a typical relationship? So for me, and this is a good question or a good point, I thought Mego really upped the game. The Wave 1, we got Dracula. We got the Bela Lugosi. That was the star of that wave.
Absolutely.
That's totally great.
Yeah.
And it was hard to find. I thought I could find everything else but that one. I think I only have one that I actually found in the store.
Yeah.
But I happened to win one on eBay that
being
was
Frank who found it.
ridiculously hard to find. And then what was it? Wave 2. What do we have? Frankenstein.
I believe Frankenstein. Yeah.
And then eventually we got we did get the Wolfman. So I'm just gonna add this in here.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
So so there's Baylor right there, and I think I can. Yeah. And as you can see, and then they had the Invisible Man, which I thought was that's when they started getting creative. This is like where it started to change, in my opinion. Baylor, when the Invisible Man came, they put it on a clear body. Well, that, I wasn't expecting that, and I thought I knew exactly everything that was coming. I was like, oh, I know what they're going to do. It's like, oh, really? So that was a kind of I guess you could say, a game changer for them. And then you have the Curse of the Werewolf. Is that what it was called?
Screaming
right?
Werewolf.
That's it, yeah.
Sorry.
Which was on YouTube. I don't know if you can still watch that movie, but it was free on YouTube. I doubt a lot of people have seen it.
And that is with Lon Chaney Jr.
Right? Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah.
It's cobbled together from a couple of movies. It's pretty weird to watch.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. And then we had, here's your Screaming Werewolf. There's your first Frank. And of course, where's the bolts? What's going on? People, it was just hard to. But then here's your first Mummy. That was John Farley's sculpt. It came with a little. I don't even know what that is. To me, it looks like. To me, this looks like.
Is an urn? I'm not sure what we call that.
Yeah, sort of Anubis type thing.
Or Piglet from.
Maybe it's Piglet.
A little piggy bank.
It held the organs of the mummy.
There you go.
Oh, there's one I forgot I did. I did the Scarecrow too.
That was actually one of the very first figures I photographed officially for Mego, by the way.
Was it?
It was an amazing figure to shoot.
Yeah, it actually that's another one of the more creative offerings from Mego. We got a comment I'm trying to get off of here, but I'll worry about that later. Hide, Leatherface. Hold on a second. I'm trying to. Then we had the Fly, Exorcist. All these are game changers. When Mego got Universal was probably what was that, wave 8? I think this is wave 8 right here. What
about the flocked werewolf? That one was amazing.
I'm trying to get to that, Seth. Amazing. I thought I had him here, but apparently I don't.
I love that one.
Okay, so much for my slideshow. It's live, folks. We're trying to we're content creators trying to create content. Anyway, stop sharing the screen now. We'll get back to this. Getting back with the thing, Jason, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
When you joined up and you started photographing, I know that you said that the horror was the most fun for you. Besides the Star Trek, because you had creative license to just.
Yeah, with the horror figures, they basically said go nuts. So it's like sometimes I'd try really out there stuff. I remember when I did Leatherface, there were a couple where I was, hiding body parts and, torn up women. And I was waiting for someone to say, no, you need to tone that down. That call never came in. So it's like, oh, wow, I can really, kind of go kooky with the horror figures. And they've just been so incredible, these figures, that, I'm having the time of my life. I
remember hearing, and I had the same feeling. I had heard that Marty Abrams had seen one of your photos of this figure and wasn't even able to differentiate if it was a living thing or if it was a doll. And I had the same exact experience when I saw that. And you've had so many great shots, but that one to me is like you can't even tell if he's alive or not. Incredible work.
Literally had to send me a message when that happened. He's like,
I've heard that. Yes.
I got to tell you this.
Cheers to you for that, because that was an amazing shot.
Yeah.
He was a good figure to photograph. I mean, you know yourself. I mean, these meant so much to us growing up as figures. And then the movies themselves, it's like for me to have shot that, it was just that giddy thrill of, ooh, Hammer horror films. Really brings out the creativity.
Well, you can go nuts with the lighting, too. the colored lighting and the uplighting and different stuff that you wouldn't do with superheroes or Trek.
Yeah, I've always been worried because I kept with toy photography. You got to do flat lighting. You got to show every detail. So it's like my pictures, I'm breaking every single rule of commercial toy photography. So I've been waiting for them to say, tone it down a little.
No, it seems to be working. I don't think you should tone nothing down.
And let's not forget the awesome play sets that I'd buy a house just to have all of his play sets in, so I'd never have to take them down, because he takes them down and rebuilds them every time he needs to do a new photograph. So if it's superheroes, he's got to rip the castle down. You know, if it's
well, that's why I make the castle modular, because you know me. Once the photography's done, I got to set it back up so I can play.
Yeah.
All right.
That's funny.
Exactly.
That's funny. So, what do you think about? We had like the infamous Headless Horseman that seemed to have came and went and is in high demand. Do you think a re-release of that would be
You'd think
a good idea? I'm reading people's comments.
That
So
was
I
some
think
of
I'll-
the version of it. That was,
Yeah.
I mean, the
And
costume
I've said
alone
this-
was worth the price of the figure.
Exactly. And I've said it, everyone we've gone through, it's like, when you get it, you say, wow, this is the best figure they've ever made.
Yeah.
And I go there all the time. And each wave comes by, and it's like the best thing they've ever done. And it keeps happening, wave after wave after wave. And, it's just going on and on from there.
Yeah,
It's true.
I think Headless Horseman could absolutely, and maybe you have it learn a new hold. That's what they used to say in wrestling. Go away for a while and learn a new hold. So what if it came back and it was Spring-Heeled Jack, or it was some other sort of character, but it was the same kind of character, different outfit, same head? I don't know. Maybe you could mix it up.
There's a lot of possibilities with that figure. And we know
So
it
we
was a
got-
big
what about-
seller. I mean, a lot of people were really upset they couldn't get a hold of that one.
Right.
a lot. Yeah,
That
absolutely.
came out
To
with
the
the wave
point
with
where
like, the Wrath of Khan figures, I think, and some
I believe
of those.
so, yeah.
And that was
I
a
had
tough
two.
wave to get, because a lot of those figures didn't get wide distribution. I think Rocky was another one that was in that wave.
Could be.
We're barely finding that when it was released.
So, what would you guys think of Mego doing Ghostbusters?
Oh, that'd be
Would you
great.
consider that horror?
It's got to be the original Ghostbuster.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep,
Absolutely, yeah. Because otherwise, how about Dark Shadows Mego version? I know we had an MC version. Seems like I think Barnabas would sell. I think Barnabas.
It
would be a
could. I
good
think
buy.
that werewolf might sell. I don't know the characters that well. I'm sorry.
I don't either.
Yes,
All I
didn't
know
they
is
do a set of the
I
8-inch
just
figures
sold
a
my
few years
Barnabas
ago?
and
A
Yeah.
different company?
say again, Jason.
I said, didn't a different company do some of the 8-inch of Dark Shadows not too long ago?
MC, right?
Yeah.
Right, MC. Well, it's still MC Mego. That was still Paul. But yeah, that was what was that, about 4 or 5 years ago?
It could even be
Oh,
further
yeah,
back than
I
that.
would say more like 10 probably.
Yeah, I think it's a little further back now.
Is it? Man, see, time, man. Time is a killer.
It is.
How about Kolchak? Everybody says Kolchak. He comes up on a lot of these lists. But realistically, would he sell?
I don't know.
I mean, to me, Darren McGavin, that's Ralphie's dad.
Sure.
And so I mean, I don't really want him to get in trouble like that. He needs to stay at home and make sure the dogs don't get the turkey. But that's just me.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of going down the line. If anybody out there has questions or something they would like to see, go ahead and let's start asking now. And reading comments as quickly as I can. So Kevin, I got to ask Kevin this because Kevin's kind of he's what's the word you would use with you in horror, Kevin?
Oh, I'm not. Well,
He's casual horror fan.
He's not a blood and guts guy. He's kind of like things
definitely not
like
a-
he won't. Some of these things he doesn't want in his house,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
cracks me up.
Exactly. And this is how I was introduced to the monsters. Is my dad was a big comedy fan, so naturally Abbott and Costello was huge on Saturday mornings, and that's how you came, with Bella and Karloff and Cheney and all of those guys, and that's how I got introduced. So it really, that part of the monster genre really wasn't horror for me. It's when you started coming over into the, the Freddy and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff where, you got to, click it away. That's just it's a little bit too much.
It's too scary.
Yeah, exactly. a little bit further than I want to go, but
yeah,
that's how I got it on a softer side. So, that's what I remember about the monsters. That doesn't freak me out about the monsters.
Seth, let me ask you this question.
Yep.
With your just because I know you're more of a gore guy like myself.
I love horror. Yes.
Me personally, like I wish if I had one wish, I wish Walking Dead wasn't so far along as they were, and that would that would have been the license for me. That would have been like anything. I don't care what it is, because you can zombie. I don't care if it's just a zombie with a different color shirt. If it's I'll still buy.
I would love a Walking Dead zombie, no doubt about it. I think like monsters from mythology. I always go back to a Medusa or a Sasquatch or a devil or a zombie, for example. I mean, any of those I think would be great sellers. As far as horror movies, I mean, I think like The Shining, it would be a huge seller. Things like that.
He'd
I don't know.
have to have an axe accessory, though. You can't skip.
No doubt. No doubt.
You know what? Shining would be interesting.
Huge seller, yeah.
Would be interesting.
Who wouldn't want to figure a Jack?
Yeah, and that's all you would need to do. I like a lot of the way the toy companies are doing just the main character. And
that's a good.
I mean, I'm not worried about getting Danny Torrance necessarily. Maybe.
Exactly.
But you'd really just want Jack.
You know what? That's a great point. With the Monsters license, Mego can go in, scoop up the main principal, characters that people are interested in, and so imagine we are kids, we don't care. We don't, like you said, we don't need Danny. Hell no, we don't need Danny. Danny would have probably been Wesley Crusher to us. So we don't, it's just like to have Dracula, Dracula fight Spock. What a great battle that would be, right?
Of course, the flip side is that you still have to pay for the whole license.
Yeah.
So if you only make Jack, you still pay the same for all of the characters. So you might as well try to make Danny, maybe, if you're going to get some money back on it.
Or make exactly, or make like there was another company that just did the twins.
You can do the twins.
I'd make the lady in the bathtub. She was like more interesting.
Sure. Good luck with that one.
Well, I mean, the not that lady. I mean, the one after she was already,
Either one, I think you got a problem.
I don't know if that's getting on a shelf in Walmart.
Well, but see, that's the thing. These and that's like you see like NECA out there, and and they're with their resin approach to it. They got what you would like a more fine-tuned detail, which is what amazes me about the Mego product now, is because for basically we'll just say it's under $20. For under $20 now, you're getting like this intricate. I mean, to me, it's intricate. Like Leatherface is absolutely amazingly awesome. That's one of my favorite figures because you nailed it, Andy.
Oh, thank you.
You nailed it.
Totally nailed it.
Freddie, you nailed that one. That goes beyond saying. I mean, that's probably got to be what you were like. Damn, that's what I would have been like. Damn, this looks good. In the story there.
Thank you.
But and the Hammer stuff. I know I'm not pulling away from your contributions, but like the Hammer, like Hammer Frankenstein, have we seen that yet? I mean, we've seen it. But
just a preview, right? Yeah.
I mean, and just to be British, that whole British Hammer stuff. I mean, I'll buy it and I like it for that, but I'm not like a fan of the movies per se. But to see the characters.
Oh yeah, look, he's already got the.
Right.
I can't wait to get that.
Of course he does.
Van Helsing, man, I can't wait to
that
get
one's really nice.
Well, I
I'm
did
not
hear
a big
that
Hammer
they got
fan,
them in
but
Britain. So Beyond Toys apparently finally got the Wave 13.
they got them early.
Well,
Earlier
this
than I seen it.
reptile is just amazing too.
That's cool.
They did a great job on the paint app with the reptile. There was actually a lot of subtle little colors in there that just popped.
You know, it's if I can, I won't quote Paul, but it's you know, monsters, like you can get the, I don't know why it is, but monsters always almost, well, I would say 99% of the time they come back perfect the first time. You know, it's just like the it seems to me that would be the harder of, you know, it'd be harder to do a monster than it would be to do I don't know, Rocketeer. You know, it's just my opinion. You know, there's more detail in the, you know, they come back and the paint app looks great. The proportions are, you know, all that.
Well, I will
Anyway.
say this: it is easier to sculpt something that you don't have to worry about it being symmetrical. Leatherface is not symmetrical, so Rocketeer, for example, has to be perfectly symmetrical. So it's deceptively simple. It's not, but yeah, it depends.
So with all of the with all the horror properties that we know, and we know them all. I mean, we got Freddy's, we got Jason's, we got Michael Myers, we've got Jeepers Creepers, we've got
Leatherface.
Who's Leatherface? Who's the Candyman?
Right.
Yeah, these are more. We've got the Scream things. These are all like modern, the modern horror. What would you, going around the room again, starting with Andy, from, you know, what do you think would be a good future line? Do you see something up and coming that's being, you know, out in the movies right now that's being developed that would make good Mego type figures?
I'm not sure. I was thinking about maybe characters like Slender Man or some of the internet characters. Jack, I can't remember what it's called, Jack the Killer or something like that. There's Momo. There's a lot of weird characters. I don't know if you'd even want to make these, but that's kind of what's popular now, at least on the internet. As far as movies go, I can't really even think of a main movie villain type recent movie with a horror villain. They use usually something repeated, but I don't know. Maybe going in that direction.
Yeah, I'm not sure about new movies. I have no idea.
Well, I think like The Nun is
okay. That's fair.
A popular one.
Well, even if they got into like the video game horror with, like, you know, some of the Resident Evil characters and stuff like that.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Yeah, because it seems like now, it just seems like horror is like a mix of whether it's old or new. It seems, you know, like it could fill anybody's wants and needs. Like, you know, I don't see many comments about people saying like, oh, Jesus, that's, you know, that's 100 years ago. Why would anybody want that? Not with horror, you know. So, thoughts, Seth?
I mean, I think that, I mean, just looking at this panel of people, you know, we're all middle-aged people. You know what I mean? We want to buy what our heart calls out to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just like I'm not up on who's the current musician that's going to be on the award show. You know, I still listen to music from 30 years ago. So I think focusing on, you know, if a lot of the people that are buying it are around in our age group, or so to speak, you know, you should, you know, focus on what hits their heart, you know, what pulls on their heartstrings mostly. So I'm not too sure about what's the trend, you know, the newest trend, but you know, I like focusing backwards a little bit, so to speak.
If it was possible, because somebody just made a comment, and this is something that I want everybody to answer. If it was possible, what would you think about licensed, let's say heroes, but either zombified or monster, kind of like how they did like the presidents. Mm-hmm. You know, they did because somebody said Joaquin Phoenix as a Joker. To me, he was, you know, I mean, is there a difference between Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker than Norman Bates or what's his name, Nicholson for The Shining? I mean, really,
It's a good correlation. You're right.
I don't think there's any Joaquin Phoenix license. Is there, have they made any figures from that? I've seen bootleg figures, and that's it.
I don't know. Like I said,
Maybe a Hot Toys or something. Perhaps I saw.
DC would have to agree to that. I don't know if that's what they like. Do they pay again? Well, you already got this. Yeah, but if you want extra sauce, which is going to cost you,
Yes, and it's probably not available because if Hot Toys or somebody could have made it, I think they would have.
How about the 14-inch? How about if we everything that Mego's made so far and they decide to come out with 14-inch, would you guys buy it?
I think a ton of people would buy it.
I'm saying you personally.
Oh, me
Kevin,
personally.
you're out
Listen, it depends on what it was. Because like I said, I pick and choose my monsters. So it would definitely be a pick and choose for me as far as the 14-inch. But someone like Seth, I think, would buy them all. You know what I'm saying?
I buy every single thing that comes out.
There you go.
I'm an extreme case. You can't use me. I'll buy it all no matter what.
So,
what about a 14-inch Reagan?
No, that's too scary for Kevin.
Yeah,
I don't. Kevin can fight an 8-inch Leatherface, but not a 14-inch. That might put up too much trouble.
Listen, they sent me one. I don't know if it was Scott or Frank. But and it's still in the box. It never came out. I don't even know where that box is.
Hey, I admit I still cannot watch The Exorcist all the way through. I will admit that.
Really?
Can't do it. Bits and pieces, that's it. But that figure, the 8-inch figure, is great. I do have that, though.
Oh, listen, it's a fantastic figure. So is Chucky.
Yes.
Chucky scared the bejesus out of me and my mom, and she hated that name. We had a neighbor, my friend, his name was Chucky, and she could not call his name for the longest time when she saw that figure.
That's funny, man. That's funny. I had to watch The Exorcist all the way through because I think I seen that when I was like 10 or 11. It was on TV, and I instantly, as soon as I seen Linda Blair, I was like, "Oh my God, there's my wife." So I had to make sure she was okay throughout the movie. and I couldn't sleep for like 2 weeks, straight after that.
Listen, I was, oh God, I gotta think. I think I was maybe it was either the 7th or 8th grade. I was in the hospital downtown. My roommate, he had a broken back. I never saw his face because he was always turned sideways. And this one day he kept and he would just keep talking. Listen, tonight, Night of the Living Dead, you got to watch it. I'm going to watch it. You watch it. My mom stayed with me every night while I was in the hospital. This night, I told her, you know what? Go home, take a break, whatever it was. I sat there and I watched that movie.
Yeah.
And shit my pants. But 2 o'clock in the morning, I called her and I told her she had to come back right away.
That's funny. That is funny. All right. That's actually let's see what kind of comments we've been getting. How about Metropolis?
Ooh.
Interesting.
Doesn't Superman live there?
Yeah, not that.
Yeah, that Metropolis. Yeah, that one.
Before Superman moved in, it was before he moved in. Okay. Oliver Reed werewolf, Resident Evil. Joseph Smith said.
I mean, I don't know how
a De Niro Frankenstein.
I've heard that it's hard to get the Oliver Reed license. I don't know how factual that is, but from what I know, at least, that's a tough one to get. But the Curse of the Werewolf, Oliver Reed figure would be a dream. I mean, that would be a dream come true. That, Salem's Lot, Barlow, I know it's similar to a Nosferatu, but I think it's different enough that a lot of people would go for it.
Right, Nosferatu. That's what
Adam's Family, the Munsters, Gargoyles.
Very good.
So many. So many things like that. I think would be great.
What about our hosts, like Sven Gulli or Elvira?
Svengoolie's been done. It would be nice to have a Mego version of him. Elvira, look, until that new female body comes out, you know, we'll because she'll definitely need to be.
Kind of need the new female body.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's,
you would.
The selling point wouldn't be there without her.
Elvira would be worldwide. I mean, she's known worldwide. Svengoolie's fairly local, right? I mean, maybe, I guess not.
Yes. Well, actually, that's the thing. Apparently he sold out with the company that didn't make him, but I don't know how many units they made. But it's still, I personally like Svengoolie. I like that local horror show host stuff, and I hope it continues. I hope it's reborn again. But I would
from the Northeast. I was a Baron Damone guy.
Okay, so yeah, then that was I was actually I had Big Wilson, Night Owl Movies. He wasn't a horror guy. He was just a cool dude. And goddamn, what was it? Big Dave from Channel 51. He was weird. He's probably, I don't remember what but at any rate, Gargoyles, one-offs. Gargoyles is one that I've heard a lot about.
I like the idea of kind of original. Do you mean Gargoyles the cartoon or Gargoyles just generic kind of gargoyles?
No, the 1974 TV movie.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, okay.
I would buy that in a heartbeat. I mean, I'd buy like 10 of those things. Forget it.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that Gargoyles or is that? Yeah, that was Gargoyles. So what was the movie? What was the movie? The Japanese movie where they had the green one and the brown one.
It's War of the Gargantuas.
Gargantuas, yeah, Gargantuas. I know you'd buy that in a heartbeat too.
No
I'd be
doubt.
right there with you.
No doubt about it.
I would be right there with you.
I know. Listen, I don't know how well it would go over, but I know it's something that I think Mego could have a lot of fun with. I'd love to see a Groovy Ghoulies line.
Oh, Groovy Ghoulies. What is Groovy Ghoulies?
It was a cartoon.
Animated.
It was a Saturday morning cartoon. I think it was actually a spinoff of Sabrina, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not too sure.
So it was, they were cool looking monsters. They were. I even think they had a band.
Rockin' monsters.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Dave LePage said he did interview Count Gordeville, and said he would make a good figure. Interesting. I have to look that up. Now I feel like I've missed out on something. I need to.
I'd be into a Zachary. You think they could make Zachary? No crickets. Okay, never mind.
I mean, no. Yeah, George Alexander. I am from Miami. I know exactly who Big Wilson was. I stayed up many nights watching the. Boy, that's why I got I'm all about vintage. You happen to know I have this other weird idiosyncrasy. I'd rather watch an old black and white movie than anything modern. I mean, anything, you name it. It's like, my wife's like, what? Like, yep, Mr. Blaney Builds a Dream House is on. Shut down the neighborhood. I'm staying home. But yeah, I know exactly who that is. What do you think of, well, I'll tell you what, how about this? What do you guys have to say? We're talking, okay, so this is the horror episode. We'll probably do something similar to this come Halloween time. I keep going out of focus. I'm not throwing you in the trash, I swear. What do you think about if Mego had to do something to reinvent the wheel with horror, what would you suggest? It's kind of a vague question. I understand,
I can throw something out there. I do it this way. I take the precaution. They already have the child body. I would go into the Ben Cooper costumes, and instead of molding the head, you just mold the mask to put on the kid. You make a generic kid, or maybe even use Ang again, and you put the mask for the Ben Cooper costume, and you do it that way.
It's actually a good idea.
I know there's a custom guy, Alexander, out there who makes those. They're great.
I've seen
Alexander.
They're spectacular. Yeah.
What if it was original creatures? What if it was something like you're looking through the files of a paranormal agency and here's the characters from it, and the back is a whole dossier of what the character's about, where he's from, and whatever it is. And it's not, just their basic stuff like vampires and whatnot. It's creatures. It's something different.
I think that's a great idea, especially if you have very original card art with it to kind of sell the figure even more because you're not familiar with it. It's a a newly made creature or something like that. So if you had really sick card art with it, that would be a great idea.
I guess the question boils down to, would people buy something because it looks cool versus they already know what it is?
Mm.
I think the looks cool might go more towards a new collector, and the other stuff would go towards the classic collector. I think that's how it would break down.
So Dave LePage, this is a great question. Dave basically asked, do you think Mego can go back or include the original retro style, or do they continue going forward with how with the more intricate detail? Just here's a good segue example: the new Scotty and McCoy. Some people were appalled, like, "Oh my God, they look too much like them." Like, what? That kind of threw me, or whatever it might be. So, what if Mego said, like, okay, let's do the General Mills, Frank and Barry and Count Chocula and stuff like that.
I'd love that.
If they did. But if they did like what Andrew was just talking about, like a more simple, I don't want to say simple, but if they did like a more generic, simpler type of line, would that be marketed as a collectible, or should that go into the toy section as something to, because I guess what I'm saying is a collectible, you have to have, like, usually everything in that collectible section is like, whether it's like figures from The Office or figures from
it's an own
the
license.
Funko Pops.
Everything is an
it's something that everybody knows.
Yeah, that's what it is. Everything is a known license in the collectible section. I think a perfect example of something that Andrew was talking about, there's this new thing out. It's called the Heroes of Gujitsu. And they went into it's just a new squishy thing, and they've other than doing superheroes, they've done some dinos, and they look pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And it's nothing off of anything that anyone's ever seen before. I don't think it's any kind of license, but it's something that would appeal to a kid. So it's new figures, it's new sculpts, it's a new design. So I think. And whenever I go to my Target, I see a new section of them on the shelf. So they got to be selling.
Interesting.
I think, Scott, to get back to your point of the, how realistic should you go when you mentioned Scotty and, Bones and things like that. I think that the beauty of Mego is falling in that in between where, yes, it's a collectible, but it's still like a child's plaything. I think that's what appeals to all of us. And a lot of the people who purchase these items is that, you're having that nostalgia from your childhood. So I forgive it not being super hyper realistic. I want it to still be reminiscent of like a child's plaything. I still want to be able to have it not be super detailed. I like a nice, like, in between personally. I don't want too much detail, and I don't want not enough detail. I still want it to be a toy. I don't want it to just be a collectible.
So what do you consider Hammer Dracula?
I think he's a perfect balance of it all. I think you can tell that he's still a toy, but it's not a sideshow collectibles.
Yeah. Okay. So the term, like Dave said, is cheesy charm. No, I agree with that. But Dave, I'll say this: I think the Hammer Drac, that the Freddy, the Leatherface, that exceeds the cheesy charm. That goes more into a category of
right in there. It's right in that sweet spot. Right. I think they found the sweet spot right where they're at. I would say,
and that's what I'm liking, because I like, it's But don't get me wrong, I love the original four. I think when I was a kid that scared me. I told you this before. Like I had them. I had the original solid box because I remember that. But I set them up on I guess like my nightstand, or I had like I don't remember, but I'd go to sleep and I'd open up my eyes, and sure enough, that they're all their little eyeballs and the little glow in the dark hands, and that actually scared me when I was a kid. So Vivid definitely. But if you look at the sculpts, if you look at them, they're goofy, but they're lovable. So that's definitely something that
Just look at the lineage of the Dracula line, the current Dracula line. You went from Bella to the Klingon / Disco Dracula to Van Helsing to the 14-inch Universal that Jason's got in front of him. If that doesn't show you the balance of all
right, exactly, good
kinds of sculpts that you can come from, realistic to not, they're doing it.
Yep.
I'm and to answer Membros from Viscaros, I guess. I'm a huge Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, but the first two Romero flicks, huge. That's what got me into zombies. And Night of the Living Dead's like my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I love every single thing about the movie. Everything from the first credit to the last little roll. I mean, you name it, and I just thought it was great. Yes.
We'll have a watch party next Mego meet. I'll sit in the back.
if that first of all, they can't frighten you. Second of all, I'll point out the nude scenes, and you'll be like, "Oh, I never noticed that." So, give you something to look forward to. Because there are. So, by the way, did you know this? Because I know, Seth, you know about that movie, right? I know, obviously.
I mean, I bleed Dawn of the Dead on a daily basis. Okay. I love those. Yes, Night of the Living Dead, of course.
So if I got this right, the chick that God, I want to say this right. Okay, the woman that plays Karen's mother,
Mrs. Cooper.
Yeah, Mrs. Cooper. I hope this is right. I know there's a detail in here, the brain cell probably fried, but I think she's also the nude woman walking away. And when you see her, outside of the house, I think she's got it. I read something. There was. It might not be her, but it's somebody. I know the guy that's the reporter. I know he was like the town's. He was a car salesman.
He was the star of Day of the Dead. That was her father in real life. The reporter.
Who?
The reporter from Night of the Living Dead. The actor that played the reporter in Night of the Living Dead was the real life father of the female lead in Day of the Dead.
Oh, no kidding.
I think.
Oh, wow.
I think.
So George still making it from sound. Okay. Yeah, I got to brush up on my trivia about that. John Ford's Quiet Man figures. I love the Quiet Man. So does Kevin.
Yep.
But not very scary unless you're
being punched by Victor McLaughlin, then yeah, it gets
exactly. We got so The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh yeah, anything John Carpenter. I'll get in line for that.
Me too. All day.
Oh, she's not. Joe said she's not the nude one. She's the zombie that eats the bug on the tree, which is good to know.
That was a real bug too. No, I don't know. I could be wrong.
And a real tree.
And a real tree. It's a fake tree, but a real bug. That's so weird about that scene.
I think it was a fake person, just a real tree.
Oh, is that okay? I guess I got that mixed up.
I did hear the bug sold out in later films, but okay. What about
I think the Tall Man. I'm seeing somebody put the Tall Man here. That's kind of a good idea. I don't even like Phantasm.
Oh, the Tall Man.
Phantasm was not my favorite. I don't think I saw it in the right frame of mind. I was older, but the Tall Man's cool.
Here's you can tell I'm a big Phantasm junkie because I thought the Tall Man. I thought he was talking about the John Wayne movie. I'm like, okay, well that's not very scary, but okay.
See, what I'd like to see is maybe a deal with someone like Tom Savini or Stan Winston Studio and put out a monster that's like one of their designs that wasn't in a movie or something, because we know they've done a lot of original work. it might be a nice way to get some new, different monsters.
Interesting.
That's cool. I like the idea of Tom Savini as a makeup artist. I like Kevin's idea of, putting masks on them. You could what if you just combined like kind of like the Max FX classic 80s figure where you had a generic doll and then you could buy the different costumes and masks, like old Mego would sell Action Jackson things on the side. Why not have packs with different monster? That's another thing that I think would sell pretty well too.
So real quick, even though this is a horror thing, like Dave just said, he's, everybody, just to touch on this real quick, we're not going to go into detail. Nobody forget tomorrow is Mego Monday, and it's a holiday, so a lot of people should be home from work, and might be a little bit easier to get on that top site and order these figures. Mego
it's going to be one you're not going to want to miss. It blows the previous 3 weeks out of the water.
Right. They're always
hoping for a break.
No, you're not going to get a break this week. But
nope, we're taking your money again, Kev.
You got any sneak peeks or reveals or anything good?
Oh,
can't
God,
do that, but I can tell you this. People are going to be excited, and it's not what anybody thinks it's going to be.
Yeah, this is going to be a shocker. It's going to be a shocker.
Yeah, having said that, though, guys, everybody that's watching right now, everybody that I know I've seen some people watching today, which I'm actually, hats off to you. I'm pleased that you're actually tuning in. Anything in the past is the past. Mego is not responsible, has no control over the way Topps does their business. They cannot control the shipping. They cannot control the pricing. All Mego is doing is simply that, filling a demand that was requested by Topps for business, and that's all it is. Joel did have a meeting with them last week. When the details are ready to be discussed, he will discuss it with us. Him and the company itself has never, put on airs or never tried to lead us on as consumers, fans, whatever, what have you. There are, unfortunately, within business, it takes time before we know, but it just takes time to get answers. Kind of like in the old days, you have to, it's like the Cuban Missile Crisis. I mean, shit, it's not like they had the internet, please move your boat or we're going to nuke you. It sends, you've got mail. It wasn't like that. So
they didn't have email back then.
No,
it wasn't working. What was the problem?
You know what? It was damn dial-up.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
That was so hard to deal with.
I know. I just can't. But having said that, it is a little bit of a drag that for people that need more time to make decisions or maybe more time to juggle monies. I know. Look, and it has nothing to do with about how much money a person has. It's look, I have to do it too. If you have a significant other, sometimes we just have to juggle money that way, because you bought what? Like, no, honey, it's stuff for the backyard. I'm like, from the baseball card company? Having said that, like I said, tomorrow's Mego Monday. Everybody to get ready to go. What Jason said is true.
Listen,
we are coming.
They even scooped me because I was ready to go on at 10:30, and boom, if they weren't up and running at 10 o'clock in the morning, those suckers.
That's right. That's right. That is. They did last week, so who knows what they're going to do this week. But having said that, we're coming to the top of the hour. I do want to go around the room, starting with Andy. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna throw you guys off. I'm gonna start with Roberta, and I know. I'm sorry, but you're like my favorite one. So not that you guys aren't.
She's the most well-spoken one on the panel.
Yeah, she's because we could throw things.
She's definitely the cute. She's the cutest one, right?
Aw.
No, see, there you go. So, with now I've kind of forgot what I was going to say. So to close this out, if what is your total opinion of? No, that's not good. just tell us your final thoughts on Mego and the horror category and what you might want to see in the future.
Okay. It's probably the best category along with the Star Trek. Well, it's hard to really choose, to tell you the truth, on there. Every wave is better. One thing that I've been wondering about now, I've seen a lot of people mention about it. I'm really getting into What We Do in the Shadows. Great vampires there, even with Guillermo, the familiar, and now the Helsing. So that would be great. It is a popular one. They did get an Emmy nomination last time. So
Interesting.
But I love it. I mean, every week, every Monday, I'm like everyone else. It's like, okay, well, maybe this one be a week I'm not going to get in. And it's like, oh, okay, got to get the tops. So I'm glad that they've given us those opportunities to have exclusives on there. So,
Kevin?
Yeah, listen, just keep making them. I'll buy the ones that I like, and they always, if you've seen, well, Google it. Google Baravelli ads, and they make great opponents for Action Jackson. So he finally had the feeling he could fight.
Action Jackson had to get his cameo in, right? Just now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, shit. I mean, shoot. Sorry. Jason.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank Andrew and Seth and Roberta and Kevin. Yeah, I love having you guys on this show. Great stories, folks. Definitely check out Tops tomorrow. I'm telling you, it's going to be a must-have. And Scott, thank you for running a very good show today. Discussing monsters, I think, is one of the things we all on this panel love.
Yeah. Agree with that. Andy?
Oh,
sorry.
No. Sure. I'm excited about some of the new monsters that are on tap, I suppose. And I think if any of the lines, or whatever you want to call it, that is the most versatile, it's monsters. What fits into monsters? A lot of things. Does Alice Cooper fit into monsters? Sure, maybe, but it's not. But it is.
Ozzy,
so I feel like there's a lot of ways to stretch out with the monster line, or whatever you want to call it, in different directions than just, we've got lots of Frankensteins. We got lots of the kind of 80s horror monsters. There's a lot of directions to go with this. I think it's open-ended.
Don't you have something going on?
I might have something going on tonight because I'm going to self-promote the season finale of Rick and Morty. 1 hour, thank you.
Please tell us we see more live action.
I just noticed they dropped a new video, so if you want to jump on, there's a new live action video that Rick and Morty just dropped. I noticed during the show, so there may be more.
Oh, thank
God. It's pretty fun.
Seth, I'm gonna close it out with your final thoughts, and I do this because this is Seth's category, so let's see what he's got.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just think that horror characters, just like superheroes, they can be super colorful and can grab the eye. I could see a Stephen King Carrie covered in blood sitting on the toy shelf that I'd want to grab just to grab all that blood. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching, and I appreciate you asking me to be a part of this, and I look forward to more monsters in the future. I'll definitely be adding them to my collection, so thanks.
Awesome. All right, guys, like I said, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It's important. We do have contests and giveaways coming up, and what we're going to do this time is we are going to choose from our subscribers here. It's a list that will remain forever, and so you don't miss any content. Be sure to hit that ring the bell button, and that way anytime Mego does something, you'll get a notification. Having said that, everybody have a good day. Enjoy your Labor Day. There'll be some good sales going on. Don't forget, tomorrow is Mego Monday on Topps website. I know for some people that are still having trouble logging in and logging on, A little bit of patience goes a long way, and try not to throw your phone out in the backyard, because I know I've wanted to. Anyway, everybody, peace. Thank you for being here.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!